Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about going live for 45 days straight on Facebook and what it's done for me, and also what it could possibly do for you. And I guess now that I think about it, this is something that can probably translate across all the other platforms. I mean, just off the top of my head, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube all have live capabilities. So this strategy, I'm confident, would work on those platforms as well. I chose Facebook for a handful of reasons. That's the platform I'm most comfortable on. It's the platform that I have the most audience on, the biggest audience, and it's the platform that, because of those two, it's the platform that I have the most engagement on, right? And so for me, it was natural. And also, I have to be honest, I have a little bit difficulty with short form. It's been a little bit of a challenge from my personal experience to grow my audiences on the social platforms with short form, because my content definitely is niche, number one, and it lends itself more to the long form format, right? Like the podcasts and of course the lives. I'm comfortable in that format, and so for me it just made more sense to do it on Facebook and to do these long form things, because I feel like I largely have not cracked the code on the short form content. I still post short form daily, but it's been very much an uphill climb, trying to figure out if that's even possible to figure out any kind of formula to gain more traction and momentum on those short form platforms. Anyways, the other reasons why I chose Facebook was the idea of the Live 45 actually was, at least in the form that I heard about it, was spoken about, was on Facebook, right? I heard this idea from the amazing brother duo over at Content is Profit podcast, the Biz Bros. I'll leave a link to their podcast in the show notes of this episode. But they had done a Live 45 challenge with their community, I guess sometime last year, I had heard about it on one of their back episodes, and I thought, well, why not? Again, for all those reasons that I just stated, it just made a little bit more sense. So I started doing it, initially the idea was, let me just see if this works, right? Let me just see if this is a viable strategy to increasing my exposure and growing my audience. Going in, it was a test run, and I was going to run it for 45 days. So as of this recording, I've actually well past 45 days. I'm actually probably at closer to 55 days now at this point, because it has worked so well. It has really, really worked so well. And here's the thing, like it does take a little bit of stamina, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. I would say at about the halfway mark, around 25 or so, I got a notification on my Facebook notifications, and it said that congratulations, you have increased visibility, right? And I know that's, again, a direct result of going live every day. Well, on top of everything else that I'm doing, right, on Facebook. Again, the short form reels, and the quotes and the other posts that I do. So I guess the algorithm saw that I'm putting out enough content, and it wants me to continue to do that, right? It wants to reward that, and by giving me increased visibility. The more content, at least the way I see it, it makes sense for the platform, because the more content is being produced, the more people are apt to stay in the app, right? And so it wants to reward content creators by giving them increased visibility. The more you produce content. So it's been incredible. At this point, as of this recording, like I said, I'm probably closer to 55 days straight. I'm still going. And as far as increased visibility, I think I'm at about 22 days, 23 days of increased visibility. I definitely don't want to lose that. I want to take advantage of that. And so I'm going to keep the ball rolling and keep going live every day. Now, the other added benefit, and I didn't really intentionally do this, but I I had the idea, the part of my goals for this year is to do a master class, and create my offers and release those offers throughout the year. And so I have a master class coming up, and I was like, well, I might as well schedule it in tandem with kind of, while at least I'm still doing these live videos on Facebook, so that way I can promote it, right? And it just works so well in tandem. I have this master class called the Influencer Masterclass. It's a free course, a three-day event that's happening at the end of February 27th through March 1st. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, so let me set the date while I'm still doing these lives so I can promote this masterclass and get people on. And I'll tell you what, it's worked so well because I had built up my engagement and my visibility, and because I have increased visibility now, especially. I was able to really successfully leverage all of that in promoting this master class. And I have to tell you, I am ecstatic with the response I've gotten. The registration numbers have really been above and beyond what I expected, especially given that I'm not advertising, I'm not doing any paid traffic to get people on this master class. It's all been organic traffic, right? And so I'm just really pleased. I'm actually super tickled at the response I've gotten. I mean, it's just proof that this stuff works, right? It's validation that going live every day on top of everything else with the content creation, the consistency of it and showing up, creating more visibility, it's really, it's starting to work, and I'm seeing the results of that with the registration numbers for the masterclass that's happening. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. On top of obviously people registering for the masterclass, that builds my list, right? I've talked about that in the past as well. Your email list is something that you're going to want to start really building. And so now I solidly have the beginnings of an email list, guys. That's something that I own. That's a resource that I have. And so I will continue to foster and nurture my relationship and that audience. And that's within my control. That's outside of the realm of any algorithm of any social platforms, right? So it's a really, really beautiful thing. However, I've leveraged the online platforms. I've leveraged social media, and I've especially leveraged going live every day to help make all that happen. So the pieces are really starting to come together, and I encourage you to go live if you can. Again, I only added it once I was able to, kind of handle all the other stuff that I was doing. Once all of that other stuff was on autopilot and was already habitual, then I added, the next thing. And I'm sure I'll add another thing as well once, now that these lives have pretty much been become habit. And that's another reason why it's been hard to stop, because it's just habit. 45 days is really kind of the sweet spot of creating any new habit. And now that I'm past that, I'm like, okay, I might as well keep going. All these other advantages, and on top of that, it's already second nature. So I encourage you to do a 45-day challenge. And for the masterclass itself, I'm going to talk about what it looks like to be an influencer and what content creation can really do for you. So I'm going to have a lot more of this type of conversation in the masterclass. If you want to register, you can go to ronniecruz.com/masterclass. Really simple. RONNIE. .com. No, sorry. I forgot how to spell my own name. RONNIECRUZ.com/masterclass. I'll leave a link in the show notes of this episode, but go ahead and register for it, man. If you're curious at all about what content creation looks like, what being a content creator and an influencer looks like, now's the time. You don't have to be a business owner. I mean, especially if you're a business owner, especially if you're a network marketer, you want to get on this masterclass. But even if you're just curious, right? I think learning about this stuff can really, really broaden your horizons. It can really open you up to more options. And like the way I think about things, more options is always better, right? So go check it out. It's happening February 27th through March 1st. It's a 3-day masterclass, only about an hour a day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you can't make those times, that's okay. I know it's a little bit of a weird time for a lot of people, especially some of you are, in different parts of the world. Register anyway, so that way you can gain access to the replay, right? Register so you can get access to the replay. The replay will be made available for a limited time, so make sure you register. And I mean, then start going live, right? Start going live. I'm going to announce some of the other stuff that I'll be releasing later on this year as the year progresses throughout the year. So that's another reason, right? That's another reason to register for the masterclass. But at the very least, start employing some of the stuff I talk about, man. I mean, like well, also to understand the masterclass is free, so you got nothing to lose whatsoever. It's a ton of free content with tremendous amount of value, and of course this podcast, right? So yeah, just keep showing up. If you haven't subscribed or if you haven't hit that follow or that plus sign, go ahead and hit that plus sign for this podcast, because I'm going to keep sharing content just like this. There's a massive rebrand that is coming. I have decided, and I'll just put that out there already. There is a massive rebrand that's coming. So just be aware of that. As long as you're subscribed to the show, you won't miss a beat. I'm not going to change the location. I'm not going to delete past episodes. You'll have the back catalog still available. It's just going to be a massive rebrand happening. But that's still a little bit of a ways. Well, not really. It's coming sooner than it is than I might be ready for. But just know that that's coming. And of course, if you find value in this content, go ahead and share it. Share it with the easiest thing is to take a screen capture, put it on your stories. If you want to leave a link to the show, that'd be awesome too. It'd be helping me out. But I know, again, if you find value in it, somebody else is looking for this information too. So help me get this information out there. All right. So that's going to do it for today. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.